Have you ever felt it? That bitter taste of betrayal. You did everything right. You respected her. You gave her attention. You made her feel like a queen. And yet, she walked away. Not just walked away, she ran into the arms of a man who barely lifted a finger. A man who didn't beg, didn't try, didn't even care. It burns, doesn't it? Good. Let it burn. Because that is the fate of 99% of men, slaves of their own weakness. Trapped in the pathetic illusion that women are won through giving. They don't give. They activate. They infect the mind. They brand themselves into a woman's shadow. But you, if you're still listening, you're not one of them. You feel it already. That itch under your skin. That sense there's something darker, sharper, more dangerous hidden from you. Here's the truth, women don't fall for words. They fall for the silence that makes them restless. They fall for the presence that bends the air when you say nothing at all. And today, you will see exactly how it's done. The 5 invisible zones that turn attraction into addiction. Not caresses. Not pickup tricks. Psychological anchors buried deep in her ego, her pride, her hunger for validation. Touch those, and you own her. She won't be able to escape even if she wants to. Machiavelli wasn't wrong, real power isn't shouted. It's felt in the bones. So pay attention. If you click away now, you'll remain ordinary, another disposable man in her past. But if you stay, you cross the line. You step into the game where men don't beg, they dominate. Where men don't chase, they leave scars without even touching. If you want to become that man, the man she cannot forget, then subscribe now, hit like, and turn on the bell. Because what comes next doesn't just change how she sees you, it changes how she obeys you. I know the story of a man most would overlook. Not the richest. Not the best looking. Not the most charming. Yet the women who prided themselves on being untouchable ended up obsessed with him. He never begged for their number. Never sent flowers. Never threw compliments like scraps. He only watched. He listened. And when he finally spoke, his pauses were weapons. Every word landed like a strike, calculated, heavy, inevitable. One day a friend asked him his secret. He smiled and whispered, "I don't try to make them like me. I invade the places they don't even know can be touched." This man didn't waste time with TikTok, dating coaches, or cheap advice. He studied human nature. Machiavelli, Jung, Marcus Aurelius. He discovered what almost no one dares to admit. There are zones in a woman that no hand will ever reach. Zones triggered by presence, by silence, by the kind of power that doesn't need to announce itself. When you activate them, she stops being in control. You become the addiction. You become the obsession. And suddenly, it's her who looks for you. Her who waits for your attention. Her who can't erase you no matter how hard she tries. Now listen carefully. Every woman carries a mask. Smiles, filters, lipstick. That's the surface. That's the stage she wants you to applaud. But beneath it, buried deep, lies something else. A part of herself she was forced to lock away. Fantasies that would ruin her reputation. Desires she would never dare speak. Impulses she represses because society tells her to. Carl Jung called it the shadow. And the cruel truth is this, the more she denies it, the stronger it becomes. That's where her rawest desire lives. That's where her real hunger screams in silence. You'll see it in glances that last too long, in the nervous twitch of her fingers, in the words she doesn't say. And if you know how to wait, how to watch, how to hold your ground without rushing, without begging, you become the outlet. The crack in her mask where her shadow can finally breathe. This type of power is not built with flowers or flattery. It's built with tension, with control, with presence so unshakable she can't look away. Most men get lost in the surface. They see the lipstick, the rehearsed laugh, the fake confidence. They take the bait. But you're not here for the bait. You're here for the truth she hides, for the tremor in her voice, for the tightness in her body when she tries to change the subject. Because here's the secret: every woman, no matter how powerful she seems, hides a fracture. A vulnerable side she guards like a secret. She's terrified to show it, but desperate to be seen by the right man, the man who won't pity her, won't worship her, but will stand there, unmovable, while her storms rage. The man who conquers isn't the one who fixes her. It's the one who watches her burn, and doesn't flinch. That man becomes unforgettable. That man becomes inevitable. And now, you're about to become him. But understand this: power doesn't come from chasing her. Power comes from starving her. Every woman is addicted to attention. That's her oxygen. She's drowning without it. That's why the weak men smother her, suffocate her, because they think the more attention they give, the more she'll stay. But what happens when you take it away? When you withhold? When you go silent? When you let her imagination spiral into madness because she doesn't know what you're thinking? That is when you become the storm in her mind. She will replay your words. She will dissect your silence. She will search for traces of herself in your indifference, and that search will consume her. You see, women aren't enslaved by gifts, by romance, by sweet words. They are enslaved by doubt. By not knowing where they stand with you. Doubt is the seed of obsession. And when you master doubt, when you can give her just enough to feed her, and then vanish before she swallows, you control her completely. Most men can't do this. They're too desperate, too reactive, too fragile. They can't stand the silence. They need validation. And that's why they're forgotten. But you will be different. You will not give her what she craves freely. You will ration it like poison. Small doses that burn, then disappear, leaving her crawling back for more. Because the truth is this: a woman cannot resist a man who forces her to feel. Pain, tension, hunger, it doesn't matter. As long as you are the one who creates the storm, you remain the center of her world. Remember, desire is not born in comfort. Desire is born in conflict. And the man who dares to be her conflict becomes her addiction. So when you speak, pause. When you touch, withdraw. When you give, snatch it away. Make her feel the absence sharper than the presence. Because in the end, the man she can't forget is not the one who gave her everything. It's the one who gave her nothing yet left her wanting everything from him. Now listen carefully, because this is where the game splits the ordinary men from the predators. There are two forces inside every woman: the mask she shows the world, and the shadow she hides from herself. The mask is safe, predictable. It wants flowers, compliments, comfort. That's the version of her every weak man falls for. But the shadow? That's where her real hunger lies. That's the part of her that craves chaos, danger, and the man who doesn't bend. And here's the truth no one dares to admit. She doesn't stay up at night remembering the man who treated her right. She stays awake haunted by the man who unbalanced her. The man who made her feel alive, even if it hurt. The man who ripped through her mask and forced her shadow to come out and breathe. That's why the nice men are forgotten, while the ruthless ones are burned into her memory. So how do you become that man? You don't play her game. You flip it. When she tries to test you, you don't explain. You don't justify. You don't defend. You let the silence stretch until she feels the weight of her own words. When she tries to provoke you, you don't react with anger, you smirk. You stand taller. You make her wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning, what you're capable of. Because mystery is gasoline to the fire of desire. And the less she knows, the more she needs to know. Every interaction must be a battlefield where you control the terrain. She never walks away feeling in control. She walks away unsettled, curious, haunted. And soon, she'll start doing what women hate most, chasing. She'll reread your messages, desperate for clues. She'll bring up your name in conversations just to see reactions. She'll dress differently when she knows you'll be around, subconsciously begging to be noticed. And the irony? She'll convince herself it's her choice. That she wants you. That she needs you. But you'll know the truth. It wasn't her choice at all. It was yours. Because the man who dominates the shadow dominates the woman. Up until now, you've seen the surface, the game of shadows, silence, and presence. But that's only the foundation. If you want to bend her mind until she can't escape you, you must learn to strike at her invisible zones. These are not physical. They are psychological. They bypass her logic, her morals, her defenses, and sink straight into her subconscious. Touch them right, and she's addicted. She doesn't even understand why. Here are the 5 invisible zones of control. Zone 1, her ego. Every woman has built a fortress around her ego. Compliments? They only bounce off. Criticism? It only makes her defensive. But the real weapon is strategic recognition. When you notice what others ignore, her smallest details, the way she phrases something, the flicker in her eyes when she hides a truth, you touch her ego in a way no one else dares. But here's the trick, you never give it fully. You offer recognition like a drop of water in the desert. Enough to keep her thirsty. Enough to make her need more. Control her ego, and she'll start searching for your approval in ways she never expected. Zone 2, her doubt. This is the sharpest blade. Doubt is obsession. A woman can walk away from certainty, but she cannot escape from questions that haunt her. When she doesn't know where she stands with you, when she feels the push and pull of your attention, she starts filling in the blanks herself. And her imagination is always more dangerous than your words. Withhold. Vanish. Then reappear with strength. This on-off rhythm doesn't push her away, it hooks her deeper. She'll chase you not for who you are, but for the answers you refuse to give. Doubt is the leash she puts around her own neck. Zone 3, her shadow. This is the forbidden zone. The side of her she hides from society, her family, her friends, even from herself. The part of her that wants what she says she doesn't. Most men run from a woman's shadow. You will stand inside it. You won't shame her. You won't flinch. You'll mirror it back to her with calm dominance, letting her feel safe in her own chaos. This makes you irreplaceable. Because once she realizes you are the man who sees her filth, her hunger, her darkness, and doesn't judge, she will never forget you. The man who owns the shadow owns the core of her desire. Zone 4, her need for validation. Every woman craves to be seen, not by the world, but by the right man. The moment you become that man, her entire self-worth starts to orbit around your perception of her. Here's how you weaponize it. You validate unpredictably. Not constantly, not cheaply. You let her feel invisible one moment, and then, when she least expects it, you give her recognition so piercing it feels like you've read her soul. This unpredictability creates an addiction stronger than any drug. She can't anticipate you, so she stays hooked, waiting for the next hit. Zone 5, her fear of loss. This is the ultimate anchor. Nothing drives human behavior like fear of losing something they can't replace. When she realizes you are not like the others, when she feels the weight of your absence before she ever fully had you, you become her nightmare. Because she knows that once you slip away, no one else can fill that void. This fear will make her chase, compromise, even betray her own standards, just to keep you close. The man who masters this zone doesn't beg for loyalty. He commands it. Understand this, most men will never touch even one of these zones. They'll stay at the surface, trying with gifts and compliments. But you will touch all 5. Not with desperation. Not with noise. But with silence, presence, and precision. And once you do, she will not walk away. Even if she tries, she'll always come back. Because you won't just be a man in her life. You'll be the ghost in her head. Zone 1, her ego, the scarcity stroke. Most men suffocate her ego with flattery. That makes them invisible. You don't flood her, you drip feed her. Example, when she looks good, you don't shower her with, "You're beautiful." You look at her once, pause, and say, "That color works on you." Then you move on. No lingering. No worship. Result? She feels noticed, but not satisfied. She craves the next drop. You've touched her ego, but left it starving. Zone 2, her doubt, the ghost and the flame. To create doubt, you must master inconsistency. Be fully present in one moment, then vanish without explanation. Example, you give her intense attention during a conversation, listening, smirking, locking eyes. Then suddenly, you go cold. You check your phone. You excuse yourself. You disappear for hours. Her mind will spiral. Did I do something? Is he losing interest? Why was he so into me 1 second and gone the next? That spiral keeps you in her head long after you've left. Zone 3, her shadow, the forbidden mirror. Here you don't speak directly. You hint. You imply. You let her shadow reveal itself. Example, she makes a safe comment like, "I'm not that type of girl." You smirk and reply, "That's what makes you dangerous." With one sentence, you validate her shadow instead of denying it. She feels both exposed and safe, because you didn't mock. You mirrored her hidden truth. Now you're not just a man. You're the only man who sees the part of her she hides. Zone 4. Her need for validation, the hook and withdrawal. This is about unpredictable reinforcement. Validation must be rare, sharp, and unforgettable. Example: in a group, you mostly ignore her. You give attention elsewhere. Then suddenly, at the perfect moment, you lock eyes and say, "You always notice things no one else does." Then you turn away again. That one razor-sharp validation cuts deeper than 1,000 compliments. She won't just feel seen, she'll feel addicted to being seen by you. Zone 5. Her fear of loss, the silent threat. This is the most powerful weapon. You must let her taste you, then pull away before she fully has you. Example: you connect deeply with her, you share intensity, she feels like she's getting you. Then, when she's expecting more, you leave first. You end the call. You walk away. You say, "I'll see you when I see you." No promises. No chase. Just absence. And that absence will gnaw at her. Because she realizes she had you in her hands for a second, and then lost you. That fear, more than attraction, more than desire, makes her cling. Now you understand, activating these zones is not about what you say. It's about what you withhold. The silences, the smirks, the absences, the weight of your presence. Most men talk too much, give too much, want too much. You won't. You'll do less. And that less will drive her insane. Because true power isn't in what you offer. It's in what you deny.